everybody, it's Lisa Lampanelli of the Losers with a Dream podcast. Happy new feckin' year. Guess what? Our first episode of the year is about when it's time to say goodbye to the dream. We're not. We're hanging on. We're doing another year of this crap. So listen, we delve deep into why people hold on to dreams that no longer serve them, when we've done that, when we let go and shouldn't have, and everything in between. And we'll also talk about ways that we are learning to use social media and other ways to monetize our dream, and you should too. So keep listening and make sure to like us on every fucking thing there is. Go to our new Patreon, more about that later during this episode, and enjoy the first 2022 episode of Losers with Half a Twat. With a Dream. Hey, you all know what time it is. It's Lisa Lampanelli, and it's time for the Losers with the Dream, featuring me and, two other guys, Nick and Bo. Nobody cares. I'm the star. Are you kidding me? They do nothing without me. Losers with the Dream. You're listening, so who's the actual loser? Now sit back and enjoy Losers with the Dream. Or don't enjoy it, or don't even sit down. Shut up, burn calories.
Welcome to the Losers with a Dream podcast. We are losers.
Nick hates me. I don't care. Just shut up.
We are losers and we have big dreams.
We don't even have dreams.
First and foremost, go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. Go to follow us on Spotify, YouTube. We now have 1,000 subscribers. We're very excited, but we could always use more. Thank you so much for that. You could follow us on TikTok at Losers with a Dream. You could follow myself at Nick Scopes on Instagram. You could follow her at Lisa Lampanelli on Instagram. Ooh. You can follow him at Bo McDowell Comedy on Instagram. And more importantly, in this new year,
this is a big announcement. Give it the respect it deserves.
I'm trying.
I've been working on this, trying to get you guys to do this since the day we started, and all I was rebuffed. They said, no, Lisa, we'll never be big enough to do Patreon. And I said, I believe in us. And I finally convinced you guys to have a Patreon. That's right, people. You heard it. A mother. Patreon.
Patreon.
What does that even mean, by the way?
It's you go, you subscribe to our Patreon. There are different tiers, and you get certain things, right? Yes. We have about 5 tiers. So we're not going to go through the whole thing right now, but basically you could go from extra content. You get to do video chats with us. We get to say your name on the podcast, maybe as a producer credit.
Here's a big one. You get one-on-one live chats with us, and you can get, if you really pay, bitches. And for you guys, it's expensive, but for me, it's nothing. You can get a monthly coaching with life coach extraordinaire Lisa Lampanelli. Wait, that will change your fucking lives.
Are you serious? One-on-one life coach with you, Lisa?
Right, but you are not eligible, Bo. You are not eligible, Bo, because you're fucking hopeless. The only people I will accept to do life coaching with are people who have potential, and you're out.
Well,
Nick, you're still in.
Yeah.
So I will allow Nick to pay me, but no, Patreon's
so join
fun.
now.
Shut up, Bo. I just think it's fun.
No, but that's a real thing. The highest tier is a 30-minute life coaching session with Lisa. Yes. The other ones, we'll go over them. There's all sorts of things we're going to do for you guys. There's the tier ones, just basically extra content, and then from that, we get to actually interact with you, whatever. You ask questions, we answer your questions on air, all that stuff.
For $800 a month, Nick will cornhole you.
That's right.
And by that, I mean bang you in the ass.
For $8 a month.
That was the best part of our live show, by the way, when I said to I said to Bo, how much would it cost to get you to take a drink?
Yeah.
And we went up the tiers, and you go, $500,000.
Right.
So I said, Nick, how much would it take to get you to go down on a guy? $500,000, and you said?
Less.
See?
Less, yep.
That is the beauty and power of the Losers with a Dream podcast. So go to patreon.com or the Patreon app. Look for Losers with a Dream. More about that later. So what's up, guys? Are you so excited for the new year?
Not really.
This is a weird time of year. It's nothing this week in between Christmas and New Year's. It's nothing matters. Even though I'm still working, it's just It's weird.
I mean, you're not really working. You're going to a gym and jacking off gay guys in the steam room. But who isn't?
It's not work if you love it,
Yeah,
right?
you know what? Dress for the job you want.
Passionate about it.
No, it is an effing weird week. It's right after the New Year when this is coming out, but we obviously are taping this during that oddly timed week. And I was sick. I did not have COVID, but I had AIDS. No, I cured it. I fucked a
Yeah.
monkey. I'm telling you right
know if
now,
that's a
man,
cure.
it's a thing. Oh my God. See, that's why I'm punchy, because it's that weird week of in between.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
weird as fuck this week.
Just to look back on the week, any New Year's Eve things you did, or did you just stay home and jack it?
Yeah, I just stayed home and I ate
Cry. Oh, did you eat things?
Yeah, I'm gonna project that I ate a lot of food.
I'm gonna count on that you're right.
Are you manifesting that you're gonna eat a lot?
Manifesting
my dreams.
Oh my God.
So since it's a weird week, maybe we should revamp an old segment.
Oh my God, that's
Wow.
right. Look at Bo with the segue.
Look who fucking woke up
I
finally.
fucking showed up today.
30-something episodes in.
There he goes.
Here he is, guys.
He did a
Bo
segue.
McDermott.
Yeah. Bo McDonald.
Stand-up legend.
This guy, Bo McDermott, he's the winner.
Well, second place.
yeah.
By the way,
But
speaking
that
of
night- that night we were there,
McDonald's,
he
speaking of McDonald's, when I was sick last week, do you know what I did?
What?
Because I love my fucking dogs so much. They were starving themselves because I was not hungry.
Yeah,
So they were,
they were on a hunger
They were on a
strike.
hunger strike in sympathy for me. So I felt
Parker,
very
Peggy, and
scared.
Gandhi.
It was 48 hours they didn't eat. I got really nervous. So I freaked out and I ordered Uber Eats McDonald's. They ate Big Macs. I am so proud.
Do they eat the bread too, or they just eat the
This is how
burger?
fucking shifty they are.
Yeah.
I got to scrape the onions off for the dead.
Right.
You can't eat onions if you're a dog. So they eat one burger, right?
Yeah.
Plain.
Yeah.
They'll only eat the bread that touched the burger because it tastes like the burger.
Right.
The rest, they literally spit out.
Oh.
I have got spoiled cunts for dogs. And for that, I thank you, Bo, for spoiling Peggy.
Yes. Well, I fed her beef Wellington every night.
I know. It was horrible. All right, so what are we reviving here? What episode? What segment are we reviving?
We are reviving the Who Did We Fall in Love with? Because we're
or
just,
what?
we are lovers. Who or what?
Or what?
What?
Or where? Listen, the only reason we stopped doing this segment was because you assholes actually fell in love with girls, and it
That's
was
true.
super gross. So we didn't want to do it anymore.
say that shit. Make
Yeah.
it a guy or something.
Yeah, stop making it girls. Like, stop saying Nikki Glazer all the time.
I said it once, dude. We said it one
I'm
time.
in love with her for real. So,
Call us.
so we now decided that we're going to bring it
Yeah.
back at least for one episode. So who starts? Who's the most?
I think because Bo is on it today, dude.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be on it after this, too.
Oh God! Everybody thinks you're gay. They really do. We're getting
do.
emails.
People really think Nick's gay, which is
Yeah.
But
fantastic.
no, they think you guys are a couple.
Well,
Couple of losers.
yeah,
I think they think
that's
it's more
for
like
sure.
I'm just taking care of them.
Totally, dude.
Go to the
yeah.
segment, you stupid cow,
You
please.
stupid cow.
Go.
Let's go.
So this week, I fell in love with my insane family. That's right. That's right.
Oh, I have a similar one, you
Yeah.
bitch.
I don't.
I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, well, I switched it up.
Your
It's the
notes
last
say
minute.
carbs.
Okay, that is great because I'm stealing that.
I switched it up. I was like, did I really fall in love with carbs, or did I fall in love with the family
It's just
aspect
it's
of
an
it?
affair. It's like a
Yeah.
it's like a 2
I think
day.
you've been
Carbs
in
are
love
my-
with
yeah.
carbs for a long time. That's your long-time wife, but Friday nights is for the gourmands.
Yeah.
So you allowed the family in last Friday night, which was Christmas Eve, and
Yes.
that's when you fell in love with them, correct?
Right. Christmas Eve was fantastic.
Okay,
Everybody was
let's hear
drinking.
about it.
Everybody was dancing. It was a very nice time in the McDowell household. The Christmas cheer was alive. And then, of course, Christmas Day happens and just all hell breaks loose and it's a nightmare. But for that one, like, 2-hour period where we're just listening to, you know, music and fucking around, it was nice. So
Were
I had
you
a
having
nice,
like hee-haw with the...
Yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah, hee-haw with the fuck around.
Yeah. But here's what I want to know. I just want to clarify for the audience so they don't get nervous. When they all got drunk, that does not include you.
No, yeah.
Bo
You
did
did not
heroin.
relapse. Yes, you only smoked the
I
crack
was
pipe.
shooting up in the
Okay,
corner.
did you take oxys?
Yeah, of course.
People enjoy that. They do. You can get them
big
right
deal.
there in Stanford at Pfizer. So you fell in love. I mean, and because when you were telling us about Christmas, like right after Christmas, I was like, I think he really did reignite some special feeling with his family.
It was nice. It was just nice to see everybody like being goofy. Like they're funny people.
Yeah.
They're insane. You know, they're the Irish donkeys that are nuts, and you know they're tough to have like real conversations with. But they're funny people.
Yeah.
So there's that period of time where you're like, oh yeah, all right, I get it. I know where I came from. This is fun.
See,
And
that's
then, you know,
nice.
it's nice.
So what would you have to subtract from your family? What elements would you have to subtract to be like, wow, I could stay in love with them?
About 3 people.
Oh, 3 actual people. Okay, I'd love to know which
No,
3,
no.
but we'll lose 3 listeners.
Yeah. No, I think if it was just like smaller doses. Like I once had a friend in middle school, and to break up with him, I called and I said, you know, I think we're really good friends, but I think only in like small doses, and that hurt his feelings, and it was a big deal, and I felt bad because it's really not a nice thing to say, because it's basically saying like I don't really like being around you that much, so let's do it less.
Yeah.
But there are some people that you have in your life where you're like, one
Enough.
night's is good.
Enough.
Yeah.
Well, what's good about you is like you had the bravery to do that in middle school.
Yeah, that
that's
was
pretty
crazy.
intense, man.
My mother made me do it, which was kind
okay,
of
so you're-
I didn't have any bravery.
No, sorry. I take it back. You're a big pussy coward. All right. Well, I'm glad you had fun because that does my heart good because I do like people who love their family.
Yeah, no, it was good.
And it's better than carbs.
Yeah, well, you know,
But for the moment.
I could have stayed on brand, but I try to switch it up here.
Good for you. Always
Gotta
changing
stay
it
on
up.
Keep you
brand.
people
By the way,
guessing,
isn't
you
that
know?
one of our Patreon tiers is just watching you for an hour eat carbs?
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be great
$300 a month
to watch Bo power
to
eat.
Bo's grocery bill.
I honestly think that'd be the funnest Patreon ever. Or maybe
I'll do like a little cooking show on Patreon.
yeah,
That's what I'll
don't
do.
even cook, just fucking eat. I'd watch a binge. Okay, well, something to think about. All right, Nick, who'd you
Options.
fall in love with this week?
So I fell in love with my family as well, but more specifically, I'm going to sound like I'm from Mississippi. I fell in love with my cousins.
Oh boy.
My cousins and I were all close in age. Shout out cousin Lisa, cousin Nicole.
Yay.
Lisa's about a year younger. Nicole's 4 years younger. They're just...
Don't call Bo. He only likes
Yeah, the
really,
best was after
really
Bo
tall
became
chicks.
Bo became single. Lisa was like, or not this Lisa, my cousin Lisa was like, she's like, Bo DM'd me, and I was like, all right.
Bo!
And I was like, go ahead. I was like,
Back in the game, dude.
You've never been in the game.
she's like, yeah. She's like, is he single now? And I was like, yeah. That's why he DM'd you.
That's how I play it,
And she
dude.
was like,
That is so gross.
Yeah,
You
I was
can't
like-
shit where you eat.
Nah, it's subtle, but you know, keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying?
anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm really enjoying the relationship my cousins and I have now as adults, and we all could see how insane our parents are and talk about really just 2 of our parents. It's just 2 of us. Aunt Rosemary's fucking saint, but but yeah, that's that we could like, because I won't get into the story, but just I had to go do some things prior to help some family members and my dad and all this shit. And I get there, and as soon as I get there, I go to my cousins. I go, "Do I have a story for you guys?"
Yeah.
And we all just go in the corner. I'm like, "We got any wine in this house?" And we all start drinking and talking. But I always have so much fun with them, and I do like the relationship that we have now.
I love
And
that.
it's changed in the last like 4 or 5 years. It's really
Such a
cool.
positive episode about family and
Well, it's going to
love.
stop pretty soon when it gets to mine. But I want to say one thing, though. You have to tell a very short version, Nick, of the fucking, not all the driving story and stuff, but what your father said to you in the car about your
true.
dating life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
so,
if you haven't listened before, Nick's father is our unofficial podcast mascot.
Best in the biz.
He's the best ever. He works at Duchess. He's a hardworking man.
Hot
He's a
dog
good
extraordinaire.
Christian man. Yes, he makes a foot long with the best of them.
He's a good Christian man. Day to day.
And Nick, has dated some hooers, and
Some.
Dad does all of the hooers, and Nick's dad's not happy about it. So just really quick, tell us that.
No, my dad. You're talking about the story on Christmas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I get there, and I get to my dad's house. We have to go do something that I'm annoyed about, but I just go, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah.
Get in the car. Immediately he starts. Opens it up. We haven't seen each other in weeks. He immediately opens up with, "Your beard's too long." And
It
I
is.
Go,
It's true.
I
It's a
go,
Osama.
and I go, "Great.
ISIS.
How many hot dogs do you
Muslim.
make today? Cut it out."
Muhammad.
Yeah. So, guys, you can't say that.
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
Because
you
we're
know,
making fun of
those
you.
rules, dude.
Shut up.
Sick of this shit. So, I get in the car. He starts in my beer, and I go, "Oh, good, all right, great." And then as soon as we take off, he goes, "I'm listening to your podcast," and I was like, "Great, here we go." And he goes, "You talk about you talking to your therapist and stuff, but how come you never talk to God?"
It's a good point.
And I just I was so proud of myself. I just took a deep breath, and I went, "Okay." I go, "Number one, God does not talk back." Okay. And he goes, "Well," and I go, No. I go, Dad, I'm not mad. I go, "But you thought after making me come here to do something that I don't like to do, I was in a way manipulated to do it, but I said, fuck it. It's Christmas. He's my dad. I love him. I don't care. You thought, let's kick off the conversation with the one thing."
Yeah.
Probably the only thing I do not like to talk
save
about
your soul, dude.
ever. If I got in the car and he was like, the vaccine has 7 microchips in it, I would have been more open to that.
That's your speed, bro.
I would have been like, all right, this is better. Or Trump is a great man. He's a good guy. I'd be like, yeah, totally. Yeah,
True.
he's the best. Anything else or anything.
Wait, but here's the question, though. Okay, I love that your dad.
I think you're gay. I'd be like, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I love that your dad knows the one thing. Why is that so horrible to you? There's so much more. Like you said, those things you just
Christ
said are
died for
so
your
much
sins,
worse.
bro.
No, well, maybe not. Looking at him now, I think Allah did. Here's the thing, Nick. Why is that such a hot button? I was curious.
fucking
I was
Judas,
Unpack
dude.
this in therapy on Monday.
Girl, go ahead. I'm spilling the tea.
I think honestly because I've seen and I'm not against religion. I have just seen I've grown up with poor examples of people who are quote unquote religious and they use it as a shield and a way to judge and a way to say you're wrong. This is the way it's.
Yeah, dude, that's the way to do it.
They're like, I'm Irish Catholic. We invented it.
Yeah, they did.
Other people suck.
Yeah, other people suck, dude. But it was it was in a way, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it was it was almost like my dad and the other people in my life who were really religious were using it as an excuse to not take responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
For anything that happened in the past. It's well, like my dad's thing always used to be, and Dad, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but he always used to be like, you can't when you die, you can't take the money with you. I'm like, right, but lunch money today would be dope.
You can have
That
a
would
few
be
bucks.
fucking. If I could have $10 today, that would be sick. That would be awesome. If I didn't have to call Grandma for her this is back in the day, Western Union me money for lunch.
Oh my God.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, Dad. And we had a great this is the thing, is back in March we had this great talk about he's like, this helps me deal with all the shit that's happened to me. Religion helps me the way he said comedy or lifting weights is for you. And I said, great, I get it. Let's never speak about it. I'm glad we talked and had this talk and understanding. I thought it was all good. Guess not!
Like, Dad, you know how Jesus made all those fish multiply? Why don't you do that with a few dollars?
Next time my dad sees you, he's gonna fucking be so mad. He's like, oh, it was a fucking funny joke, huh? Fat fuck. That's what he'll say.
No hot dogs for you today.
Yeah, but this is what I love about your dad. This is the very same guy who, when we asked him about sex, he said,
listen, I put my bib on and I get to work.
okay, so this is a
Where's that
multi-level
dad?
guy. This is
So funny.
This guy has a lot of dimensions.
Also, to preface that, right before that sex comment he made when we interviewed him, he talked about, and this is when I was like, oh, he's changing. He talked about, you asked him what's wrong with the world.
Oh, I know.
And he goes, honestly, I think people just don't spiritually are not in the right place. And he stopped and he goes, I don't mean religion. I don't mean a specific religion. He goes, I mean people are focused on the wrong shit.
Yeah, like not eating enough box.
I'm going to throw up now.
But he said that, and I was like, oh, wow, his brain is opening up. And then
true.
I don't know what happened this week. Dad, I love you. I really do.
Maybe he fell down the steps. Because sometimes when old
I'd
people
get
fall
so
down
wor-
a step, they have
Winter's
a problem.
coming, dude. You guys, those steps at his house make me nervous. But
Oh my God! Well, I'm glad you fell in love with your cousins because they are cool as fuck. They've
They
been
are
to our
great.
live shows.
True.
so funny. My one cousin you saw dancing on my.
She's great.
Just fucking with her sister. That was the best. Like
See,
her
that's
sister's
what
like a
those
teenager on the
moments.
phone. And she was just like fucking.
My
getting it.
favorite is, Bo, you're going to have to make this even a freebie for the fans, not even on Patreon. You got to someday put out the video of your family drunk dancing on Christmas Eve. Because your brother, the one who's supposedly sober, that guy ain't sober.
Yeah.
That dancing, only a drunken
CBD
heroin
infused.
addict.
Such a-
There's something
That's
going on
such
with
a
that
music
guy.
festival dance, too.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He was letting it rip.
Dude, your
Yeah,
sister was
he's
doing
like,
the fucking Running Man and like, dude, it's so funny, man.
This is the whitest family I've ever seen in my
yeah.
life.
Dad's
We are
doing
weighty.
the
Yeah.
the Kevin
our
James.
Christmas is
yeah.
sponsored by Patagonia.
Yeah, I saw everyone's outfits. I was like, oh boy.
Oh my
bad.
God.
I showed up in a Fila hoodie to mine. I was like, what's up?
Of course you did.
Cool, man.
All right.
You
Did I
feel
fall
my
in
balls.
love? Oh! Stop grabbing.
$20 a month on
nuts.
Patreon. I'll rub Bo's clit. It's the size of a clit.
These are not authorized by Lampanelli LLC.
Well, Losers with a Dream LLC
Is defunct.
suing you.
You're all fired. I tell you,
So
fired.
who did you fall in love with, Lisa?
Listen, as you know,
Oh boy.
I do not like trying new things. I will not. I like everything the way I like it. I had a friend text me a couple weeks ago. I still have not responded. Want to come up to the ski lodge and have a nice weekend? First of all, I have never skied. It is Vermont.
Yes.
It is on a mountain. I could get snowed in.
Terrible.
I can't be powerless. I cannot feel like I can't escape.
Yeah.
So I don't try anything new. And at 60, I'm not trying skiing.
No.
So I go into the diner the other day, but I see this thing on the menu, and it's called corned beef hash. And I said to myself, Lisa, should you apply the no trying things new skiing version of thinking to the hash, or should you open the door a little to this possibly delightful treat?
Yeah.
So I said to that slow waiter, what a slow waiter he was. Twasn't he?
Yeah.
I said, is this horrible? And he said, not horrible. Well, that was good enough for me. God damn it. I got me some hash, and God damn it, it was good.
Yes, you
It
did.
was good. I took a few bites. It was
I know you did.
fantastic. Next time we go there, I'm going to get that.
It's fucking
Yeah.
good. So I am saying I fell in love with corned. Is it called corned?
Cornholing.
Cornholed cash. No, cornholed gash.
Cornholdgash.com slash
what it was.
Patreon.
Corned beef hash in a small sense, but I may have fallen in love with the global idea of trying a little bit of new things because I have been super strict about I don't like it if it wasn't invented by the time I was 12, I don't try it.
Yeah.
So I've never tried shit like escargot, if you will. I've never tried sushi. Like, I've never tried shit that, like, normal people like. Like, even Midwestern fucking idiots. No offense, Midwestern idiots.
Yeah.
Go to patreon.com.
Big fondue fan.
No!
More like fondue.
So I think, do you think, guys, because you are so young and your minds are
Virile.
still, no, 'cause
Well-hung.
no, neither, and your minds are not fully formed yet because you're under 25. Do you feel like
Neither of us
should?
are.
It is better to have a mindset where you try a little something or say set in your ways. Both are fine. What do you think?
I
is the
think
way
you
to
got to
go?
keep trying new things. I'll bring it. We can do Pokeball. I know you probably never had one of those
I
Pokeballs.
had them with chicken in them. I don't get no fish. Do you
That's
have to?
not a Pokeball. I
Yeah.
mean,
What's
technically
pokey mean?
Pokey, I
I'll
don't know
show
what
ya.
it means.
I'm at a Pokeball in the parking lot. You don't
Yeah.
like sushi?
I've never
like a
tried it. Do you
deconstructed
understand?
You've never
Yeah.
had sushi ever?
Why do you think I just said it? Were you
Okay.
fucking listening before you were thinking what you were going to say next?
No, I was-
That's your
I
fucking
missed that.
problem.
Everybody, it's gonna be okay.
Maybe you should try listening.
I think I heard escargot and I go, oh. And that caught me.
Escargot.
Yeah, I know.
It's
And I was
snails.
like,
yeah.
No, it's just I
that
skeeve
sucks.
things
I had
I've
the
never
snails once.
heard of.
It's just butter.
And it's not.
I mean, that's
it's
what it
snails
tastes like.
in butter.
Yeah, but it just tastes like butter.
Then why not just drink butter? I've
That's what
done
you should
that.
do.
It's
what do you think Bo
delightful.
does for breakfast every day?
It's so good.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna try a poke bowl on Patreon.
No, just
Yeah.
have sushi first. Don't do the Pokeball.
Wait, but
It's
let
too
me
much.
ask
we
you
should
something.
do sushi if you
I
have
don't
It's
any.
want.
overpowering. You need like a spicy tuna, fucking shrimp tempura. It's cooked. So
Somebody
Can I just
sends
say real quick before you go on?
it's going to eat you. Real
Anyone
after
who
this.
ever questioned Nick's sexuality, please rewind like 10 seconds of him going, you take a little bit. You know, so really, Nick, you gotta like start watching yourself a little bit.
Dude, when I was a bouncer when I was 18, you know, I was on steroids and I was working with all these monsters and I would just be like standing at the door, and one time they caught me, I was standing just like this.
Oh my god.
And they go across the bar, "What are you doing?" And I was just like, "What?" They're like, "Your arm." And I was like,
Oh, put her in, girl.
It is a very comfortable way to stand.
yeah, it's just like this. I was 260 pounds, just like
Like,
"What's going on?"
hey, girl. I have to say that that's one thing I'm very happy about. You are not insecure about any of that stuff. No. And I don't care that we have fans, gay men hitting on you, gay men saying you and Bo make a cute couple. I think it's great that you are not threatened by that. I am sick of straight guys who can't fucking take
By the
it.
True,
way,
and we're
Bo
gonna
and
start
I-
selling it.
Bo and
on
I are not a
Patreon.
couple. I could do better than that.
You really could. You could get like Zac
Oh.
Efron right now. Hot.
He
Sorry,
could not
Bo.
get Zac Efron.
I don't know. And
That's not-
if Zac Efron had a horrible disfiguring accident, I
Yeah.
think Nick could kind of tap that.
Okay.
I think so.
I think you could definitely have sex with a retarded Zac Efron.
Don't ever say the R word on
Oh,
the
yeah,
show
sorry, we're
again.
not doing
They don't
retarded.
even have to bleep it, and I'll tell you why. Because Lisa Lampanelli can show that she can correct these dummies who are under her ward.
Don't say
okay?
these. It's
The
only
word?
This
Bo
dummy.
that tries to be
This
fucking
dummy.
edgy all the
I
time,
wasn't trying to
dude.
get you, just that's the way I would say
I
it.
just want to say this.
Can't do
I apologize for Bo, but please all hate mail from
Send to
people
me,
who
yeah.
are offended. Please send to @Bo McDonald
It's not
comedy.
it, it's wrong.
Yeah,
Bo
go to a local
McDonald.
McDonald's in Norwalk where he lives, where he frequents.
Yeah.
That's where all his fan mail goes.
How about Bo McDoughboy
Ooh.
at McDonald's.com? All right, shut up.
move
What's our
on.
topic this week, dummies?
What is our topic
I don't know.
this
It's
week?
just so stupid. We hate it.
It's making your dreams
no.
I think it literally is not the topic. This is how you are stupid.
it's making your hobby a jobby.
Well, we didn't like that. What it
5,
was
6, 7,
really
8.
about is I am asked often, how do you know when to quit your dream if it's not making money? So I thought we would share your journey, his journey, my journey, and figure out, when is it enough? When is it not enough? What do we do? What do we not do? Shut the fuck up. Let's get going.
Okay.
Take a quick break. We'll
So
be
still
right
we have
back.
no idea what we're talking about, but we're coming back.
We're coming back.
Maybe. Hey everybody, Lisa Lampanelli here from Losers with a Dream. As you know, me, Bo, and Nick are losers. We have really big dreams, and one of the people who help us reach our dreams is the good folks at Royal Fox Studio. They specialize in producing podcasts, as you can hear, and they can get your show sounding amazing like ours. I mean, seriously, I sound fucking great. Make sure to check them out at Royal Fox Studio on Instagram and on all social media, where you'll be able to see a list of all the great shows they produce, including the best one ever, Losers with a Mother Effin' Dream. Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to Loser with a Dream podcast. We are losers, and boy, are we giving up on. I mean, we have dreams.
No. I'm not giving up on you.
Never ever gonna give you up. You ain't ever gonna stop. Dude, let's play Barry White, Teddy Pendergrass, fucking oil each other up,
Dude.
and just live our real goals.
Close the door on you.
Close the door. Anyways.
So we are making our dreams come true.
Yes,
but
we
we're
are.
making them happen in slow, incremental steps that are very smartly done by a professional comedian who has experience in the business and knows what she's talking about.
We believe her. We believe her.
Yeah.
We're doing it the right way.
We're trusting and we're moving.
Let's move to LA.
So yeah, infinity pools. Anyways, yeah. So it's a slow process, but it's like, how do you know when it's time to let go?
Right.
About now.
Let me see. What time is it?
Yeah.
About 7 p.m. We're gonna
Like,
let
I
go.
couldn't imagine doing something. Like, if I never got any laughs doing stand-up, which I know Lisa's
dude.
gonna come on.
She's
and
gonna be
do.
like, you always do that.
Yeah. So, yeah. The first thing she says is, I love how you said that you
Yeah.
didn't get any laugh. Just getting out in front of that joke. But, but yeah, if I got like no laughs doing stand-up, if I was doing like open mics and everyone was like, oof. And you see some open micers out there that you're like, oh boy.
Dude, there's guys and girls that still are doing stand-up that it's like,
Yeah.
I
What's the plan
I
here?
couldn't. Like, I remember going to my third open mic ever.
Yeah.
And then doing well and being like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe there's something.
Right.
But like, if it was a year or 2 years or 3 with
Just bombing.
nothing,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah. I'm packing it up.
It's like when there's,
Getting
there's,
back into the trombone.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There was a kid I went to college with. I love you, Richie. He was my roommate. I was in his wedding. He for 4 years, very skinny kid naturally. For 4 years, he took every supplement and everything you could imagine that wasn't steroids. Didn't gain a pound of muscle.
Oh.
And I was just like, it's just, we didn't eat enough. That was number one.
Yeah.
He was relying on whatever. But I always tell him, I go, you got to fucking eat. But it's like, at some point, man,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you...
Yeah, I mean, if it's not working for you, it's not working for you. Like, every kid, not every kid, but a lot of boys grow up and they're like, I'm going to be a quarterback in the NFL. And then by like 8, it's like, well, you haven't. There's just no way. You know what I mean? I was watching.
Then you run your 40 time and they're like 7 seconds. By the way, a really good 40 time is like 4.3, 4.5 around there.
Yeah,
So, like,
so.
for everyone to know.
Yeah, but I was watching this Bo Burnham interview last night, and I love Bo Burnham, but he was
You must love him because of the name.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good one.
I made a connection.
And he was talking to he was on Conan, so it was like an old YouTube video. And Conan was like, what do you tell the people that, want to get into the business and they're young people that want to like chase their dreams? And he's like, don't do it. It's rigged against you. You're going to fucking fail. And I was like, I was laughing because it's a funny thing to say. And then he was like, yeah, well, Taylor Swift telling you to chase your dreams is like a Powerball winner being like, liquidate your assets and buy tickets. Like, it's just not like, some people get it and it happens. And for most of us, it doesn't. And it's just not meant to be. So don't try to force something that doesn't exist, Right. And if this show felt forced, like if coming here every week felt like, oh man, we really, we're forcing it. There's really not natural chemistry. Then there would be no reason to do the show.
Yeah, or if the downloads weren't going in the right direction.
Right, yeah.
You'd be like, okay, maybe,
this
this is it.
Yeah.
This isn't it.
If we started with 100 people and then we went down and we were like, now there's only 2 people left. And after like a month, we'd be like, all
It's
right.
your mom and my dad.
Yeah. We'd be like, well, something is wrong here. Yeah. And there's plenty of case studies of people that like do something forever and never get any accolades or anything, and then all of a sudden they just explode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, shit like that happens. I mean, Rodney Dangerfield is an example.
That's a
of
huge
that.
example.
Even
though he's been, I guess, famous and well known for a while, like Sebastian, right?
Yeah.
Maniscalco, like for those that don't know, even though he looks phenomenal, he's 48. He's gonna be almost 50 years old.
Yeah.
Right, and like, but he's only been selling out arenas the last handful of years, and like selling out the Garden multiple times.
Right.
Everywhere he goes, he's not even doing. He's past theaters. It's
Right.
just like, you know what I mean? Shit you couldn't even fathom. When he
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
a waiter at the fucking Four Seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taking breaks
Yeah,
to go
tap
to
dancing and talking to Billy
yeah,
Joe and Bob.
hey,
Yeah.
talking to John Travolta and giving
but
him a
there's-
rub down.
But I think with this kind of stuff, it's like we know our path. We know what we need to do, and that's why the Patreon is so important, right? Because it's going to give us an opportunity to fund our next move, right?
Yeah.
And also it gives people that are listening to this that believe in the show, because we do have listeners that believe in the show and that are loving it. It gives them an opportunity to, chip in and become part of the show, which
Yeah.
I think is so huge. And I think that's what's so great about us trying to do this in this time period, because any time period before this, people couldn't come out and support us. They couldn't like start to get involved. Right. So we're really lucky, man, and we have a nice base of people that are invested, and so I mean patreon.com, check it out. Losers with a Dream.
But for real, it's actually going to be really cool content, and we enjoy it, and it's going to be a good time.
We'll put our heart and soul into it.
Hell
I think
yeah.
as we do with this show, and it's tough. It's incremental, right? Like every year as I'm doing stand up, I go, okay, this has progressed this much, right? This has progressed that much. A year ago, I wouldn't think that I'd be sitting here doing this. You know what I mean?
Well, a year ago too, like, would you be thinking that like you'd get spots at certain clubs? Or,
Yeah, right,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? How about that?
Yeah, every year I have new clubs that I'm working.
That's
every
what I
year
mean.
I have So it's
material.
just it's a spread, right? Like you just slowly, and I mean, Bill Burr was one of those guys. It's like he was a middle till he was in his like mid 30s.
Yeah.
And then he was like a headliner, but not really a big one until like his like early 40s. And then all of a sudden he has a big career, and now he's like mid 50s and he's a fucking legend, right? So, but it takes time. Like it took him decades before he saw anything. And I think that a lot of times we look at people that have things and we're like, well, we want it, but we don't think about the 2 decades where that guy was like us going, I want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, overnight. Yeah, again, I mean, I've read Sebastian's book multiple times, but like you hear things. Dude, he was selling fucking satellite dishes in a mall.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going into debt, like
Right.
trying to do all this shit, and
there's some people that would look at that guy and go, that's insane. What are you doing?
he talked
You know what
about
I
it
mean?
in the book. He literally, and I've thought about this as well. He said he was talking about how you grow up in the neighborhood and like from back home, your parents are talking to other people's parents.
Yeah.
And like, what's so and so doing?
Yes.
And it's like, oh, he has a hedge fund and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And they're like, what's Sebastian up? What's your son up to?
Yeah.
Like, they go up to my dad, like, what's
He's
your...
doing open mics.
Yeah, he's a personal trainer, and he has a podcast,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
a comic, and he's
Right.
33. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, like, it's like... And Sebastian said he would feel embarrassed of, like...
it is
his parents would be
embarrassing.
like, yeah, he's a waiter at the Four Seasons, he's doing...
It's
like,
embarrassing
comedy.
to tell anyone you're a comedian when they don't already would know who you are.
I literally didn't... We talked
You
about
know?
it before on your old podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
But I literally just wouldn't tell people.
Right, of
For
course.
the first, like, 2 years of doing comedy. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing this week? I'm like, oh, just shows.
Yeah. Chicks.
Yeah, I'm just saying out. Just like, I have like 4 dates lined up,
Yeah.
dude. So like,
No, but I mean, I know even like my extended waspy family, like they're pretty disgusted with like the fact that you know what I mean. It's just like, oh, like, well, there's no money. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, go like find a corporate job, climb the ladder, create a real business, do something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but this idea of like, oh, well, yeah, you're gonna do something that you love for a living, like how entitled is that you know what I mean? Like how entitled of a thought is that to be like I love this and now like they're gonna pay me for it? And
I
it's gonna
think
be fun.
also,
It's
dude,
fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think also, dude, and you and I like, and we obviously we have very different personalities, but like we have no tolerance for just like. So you have the addict brain, right?
Yeah.
For me, I had it in a different regard, right?
Right.
For me, it was like training and fucking caffeine and steroids or whatever the fuck. But like a boring office job or like just a corporate job would drive us nuts. Like well, the I never understood why people before I got a corporate job, I never understood why people like wanted to like look forward to the weekend and going out all the time.
Yeah.
Until I got a corporate job for a while, and then I started like going out and drinking more, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you're like, what's happening to me?
Well, it's that Christmas party where you're standing with like 3 people that are your pseudo friends that you're like, okay, this isn't going to be fun. It's a lot of forced conversation. There's a little bit of food. It's okay. It's, you know what I mean? It's catered to whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're just drinking and you're going out for the smokes. And it's just like that. And there's something about that. Like there is something kind of nice about that. Like I was in that life for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's just something a little bit nice about just like, yep, this is where we're at, man. And just like tipping them back and letting that be. And so many people do it. But I can't, I have a tough time with it.
I think we have a low tolerance for boredom and a low tolerance for bullshit and a low tolerance for things that aren't fun.
Also, if like I don't have alcohol, I think alcohol numbs that, right? Like it really does numb it, and it numbs like, you know, feelings of like, oh, I didn't do anything or I didn't. And there's so many like guys in their 30s that have come up to me after shows and been like, dude, I'm just so like jealous, like you have this thing. You know, because there's a lot of guys that like maybe after they, you know, quit playing sports or quit doing this or whatever, like they just don't have the passion part of their life anymore, you know? But passion could be anything. It's not like, oh, you should be an influencer or a comedian or whatever. Like you can...
No, it's a million. It's a million things, man. I have buddies who do have corporate jobs and they actually like them, and their goal is to become the top salesperson in the fucking company.
Yeah,
and they're climbing that, and they love it.
Yeah,
and it's like great. That's their thing.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
No,
I can't fucking sit at the desk. I tried. It was terrible.
It's tough.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
Yeah, I mean, I need attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you attention. Every day for the rest of your life. You and me and you, together forever. Is that from The Notebook?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to bring on the ultimate dream maker or killer, depending on her mood today. The head clam in charge.
HCIC, baby.
Lisa Lampanelli. We will be right back. Hello, welcome back to Loser the Dream podcast. We are losers, and boy, we got some big dreams.
My head's itchy.
Okay.
What? I'm on penicillin for AIDS. No, I'm on penicillin for my illness, my earache, and I think it makes me itchy. Why else would I be itchy? It's really starting to bother me. I wash my hair every day. Maybe it's those goddamn dogs.
I'm just imagining being your doctor. Why the hell am I itchy?
Yeah, why am I itchy, doctor?
The guy went to like Harvard. He's just like,
this clam again. And then I've brought you a list, doctor. Here's what we have to go over. I turned to like Larry David's mother at that point. Oh my God, but good segment.
Yeah.
Listen, there is no one who is more encouraging of you two to give up your dreams than I am. I figure we give this a good more 6 months, then we're out of there. Then I go to Boca and I retire. No, but it's such a mystery to people about when they should. I get asked so many times, when do I know it's time to give up the ghost?
Yeah.
When do I know it's time to give up on my dream?
Yeah.
And like, what do you think? Like, would you guys, If you knew there was no world in which, I'm not making fun of you, this is just a question I asked myself as a stand-up when I started. No world in which you were ever going to make money as a comic, and you would just continue to enjoy it as a hobby and always have a day job, would you continue doing it?
No.
Why?
Because comedy is difficult, and you have to like perform to people that are fucking pains in the ass and drunks all the time. And I think at some point, if I didn't have my own fan base to perform to, and I couldn't sell tickets, I would just feel like, I don't really feel like rounding up drunks to try to get a laugh every week. And I hope that I would be at the point, and I say this like, 20 years from now, like if I was still doing like spots,
right,
20 years from now,
then it gets super sad.
I'd just be like,
for you,
yeah, I'd just be like, I'm just, no one knows who I am, I mean, maybe they know me as like a club regular if they're like really into comedy or something,
or as the guy who sat them at the table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like there's that guy, and that's a really sad thing when you see that in the city, of the guy who's seating people who's not a beginner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the guy who's seating people who's a beginner, or the plumber who's doing spots.
Yeah.
If he's a young guy and you're like, oh, that's cute,
Right,
he's right out of college, but it starts to feel sad at a certain age.
Right.
But then you look at a guy like a Lewis Black, who started at Yale when he was 18 and arguably did not make any money till he was 50.
Yeah.
So think about 32 years of nothing other than like some like little club dates and stuff, and decent headliner, but not on a big level, like no name recognition. How did he know in his heart to stick with it? I just think you just internally know when you've had enough.
Yeah, and he was probably finding a voice, and it was probably getting closer, and he was probably understanding what he was doing, and there was something creatively that he's trying to get to the finish line of, because he's an amazing rant comic.
Oh my God, he's ridiculous.
So like, and that rant, that's tough to like master. Like I think that's a really tough art. So like he probably just he's like started to see it happen. Like if, for me, I'm like, I'm starting to see like something happen that I think is going to get better. But if I was looking at my sets and going like, I don't see anything there. I don't think anything's, you know what I mean? I don't think that's ever.
But do you think
something.
your ego would allow you to think that? Because you have no offense, you have a big ego.
Of course.
So you may be delusional.
Of course. But I think after a decade, how can you really keep deluding yourself?
I don't know. I'll have to check with you in 7 years. What about you? Would you still do it if you literally knew there is no money involved ever? Because there's these great ways to make money now. These Patreons, these podcasts, these YouTubes, and these fucking TikToks and all that shit that got invented after I had to make it the old-fashioned way by getting on this thing called television. No, but like it's like there's all these cool ways to do it.
Yeah.
But if you knew that, none of that's going to take off, and you're just going to keep, kind of doing it for quote-unquote fun, could you continue, do you think?
I was, as you were talking about, I was thinking about it the whole time. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think it would be very situational. If I had, moved up at work somehow, like if it was interfering with my life and I was not enjoying it anymore,
right? Then
I'd probably stop. But yeah, if you're not making any money and it's just interfering with shit, then like, what's the?
So to keep something at a hobby level, it wouldn't feel worth it. Something you just kind of got joy out of.
Yeah.
I guess, although I really can't see myself stopping, because like the same thing with like, I lift weights for me. Like I work out for me. I'm not going to make money from it, but I think about it all the time.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think about it all the time. And I get excited for like what work. This is what I think about. It's right up there with comedy. 1A, 1B. They're right there. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not making fucking money with this. Like, I didn't do bodybuilding because I thought I was going to go pro.
Right.
I just was like, this is something cool I always wanted to try.
Right.
And then just did it.
Well, like this whole thing, like no one hates sayings more than me. There is the queerest saying, but I don't even care. Dreams don't have an expiration date. Okay, I hate that.
But milk does.
I feel like they do.
Yeah, they do.
And I'll tell you why. I think the dream might not, if the dream keeps shifting. So here's an example. I have a really great friend. I hope he doesn't recognize himself in this story. But all he wanted for years was to be a TV writer. Like literally in the writer's room on a sitcom, like a Will and Grace or a Frasier or whatever. So he's tried for 30 years to do it. He's literally a best-selling author of books. He has many requests to do public speaking, that. He just wrote another bestseller, but yet he would not give up this fucking dream.
Yeah.
And I said to myself in my head, I go, writers' rooms hire. Okay, first of all, out of Harvard and all those places first. Second, they hire young people as PAs that they can shit on for a while. Have them clean up the salad that the boss just tossed on the floor, and then they eventually I have an idea. Hey, I'll stay late now. Hey, let me give you a joke. I think you can fit in there, Larry David.
Sure,
They don't hire best-selling authors.
Well, no, but you don't. I mean, as ageist as it is, that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
You have to operate in the reality of what's going on. So we're lucky because as stand-ups, you could be any age, Dangerfield, et cetera, Phyllis Diller.
Yeah.
The fact is, can you get in a writer's room at age 50? Probably not.
Yeah.
So I used to constantly say to his husband, yes, it's a gay. I used to say, when is this fucking husband of yours going to give up the ghost? Because I'm the dream killer. Like, I always wanted a TV show that was called Dream Killer, where I kill everybody's dream. And I think the show would be great, by the way, if anyone wants to steal the idea, because I don't want to do it. Where you would kill their show business dream, but really help them find what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
So I said, your husband is meant to write best-selling books. He's great at this.
Yeah.
And he goes, I think he's adjusting his dream.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw them, I didn't bring it up, but it seems like he's really readjusted and stopped trying to shoehorn himself into some system that doesn't want you.
Yeah, and there's plenty of different ways to find purpose.
Right.
And to understand, like, oh, I'm naturally good. Like I always said, if it goes a certain length and it doesn't work out, I'm going to try to go back to school and maybe become like a therapist or a social worker and just work with people and help them, because I think
that definitely won't work for you.
Well, it's all I have. So thanks.
No, you are really big on podcasting.
Yeah.
You never know. No, but would you, okay, if you never could make it as a stand-up, could you be like, oh, but I make like $1 million a year as a podcaster and be happy?
No.
Oh, that's ridiculously stupid.
You're stupid,
Nick, me and
dude.
you are going to have a podcast
You're
because this
fucking
bitch is
dumb,
an idiot.
dude.
Let
it's
him
not
stand on
nearly
a stage and compete with chicken wings the rest of his life, because me and you are going to sit in a studio and
I
make $1
wouldn't
million.
be miserable. It would be nice, but I'd be like, oh man, I always wanted to be a stand-up. I would still always have that.
Would you be able to mourn that dream for that $1 million?
Yeah, of course.
Although if you had a podcast and you were making that money,
Then
chances
you
are
you're a
you
huge
could do
stand-up.
shows.
chances are you could sell tickets a little bit.
yeah,
Even if
yeah.
it's just like you could just sell out clubs everywhere.
If you're making $1 million as a podcaster, you're selling tickets.
yeah.
That's probably true, unless you're unlovable.
Well,
So I think there's several ways to know when the dream has to go. So does any of these apply to you guys, or have you ever felt this about past dreams? Because I definitely have felt these things. That when the dream no longer feels like the person you are, and you no longer want to twist to fit that thing.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm 57 years old at the time. I'm like, this lifestyle no longer suits me. And I also don't like the type of material that I have to still do because they know who I am, queen of mean, etc., insult comic. So it feels like I'm twisting my real self into showing this one-dimensional 10% of me all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I retire. So do you guys remember ever having like a segment of your life that just didn't feel like it was you anymore and you had to just let it go? You must have had that with bodybuilding, with training, any of that stuff.
yeah, no, I had it with like being the party guy. You know what I mean? Like I was always expected. Like whenever I showed up anywhere, it was just like, all right, we're gonna drink for the whole weekend and do all this stuff. It was just like, yeah, like I don't know that I can. And also, like I remember sitting. This is a funny story. But I was sitting with my buddies, and I had a glass of whatever booze, and it was like probably 3 a.m. And I looked at them, and I was like, yeah, I think I have a drinking problem, and they were all like, because they know I'm gonna do the bit, because they know the of course the classic airplane bit where you go, I think I have a drinking problem, and then you miss your mouth, which is this dumb bit.
Yeah.
But they go, oh, he's gonna do the bit. He's gonna do the bit, and I go, I was being serious. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Oh,
guys,
shit.
I'm actually, you know what I mean? And then they're like, and I go, I guess I'm going to be the guy. And I did the fake, like throw it behind and I was like, yeah, I guess that's
Wait,
who I am.
So how long did it take you before, how many more years was it till you started?
Probably like a few years after that.
So but you kind of knew it then.
Oh, yeah, I knew it.
See,
yeah.
that's what's cool. So we start to notice like when we're twisting ourselves to fit into that old thing. And that plays into one of the other reasons why we stick with something we shouldn't when we're just concerned about what other people think. Like,
Yeah.
what are they going to think if I quit after 10 years to try and stand up?
Yeah.
What are my mom going to think? Or mom and dad, they always said I couldn't make it. I can't make that true.
Yeah.
So it's like sticking with something when we just know we're in it for other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's important to recognize. Also, like, if you don't, it's really hard to give something up if you don't know who you'd be without that dream.
Yeah.
So if you go, wow, if I quit comedy right now, who the fuck am I?
Right.
Like, who would you be, Nick, without doing the podcast, doing comedy? Do you have any idea what your life would look like? And does it look scary and sad? Because, I mean, mine definitely did for a while after I retired. But
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, it didn't get so scary and sad because you just work through it.
Yeah.
So does it would it feel kind of like, oh my God, what would I do?
Yeah, I can't imagine even going back to a time where I didn't do comedy.
Right.
Like, it's really, really, it's helped me in a lot of, not just, stand up and the podcast and all this shit and like, obviously getting to work with you guys and all this stuff, but it just like as a person, like it's just, I just feel better.
Right.
I don't know. Like,
Right.
I can remember when I knew, because my friend, as I've said before, how I got into stand up was my friend just signed me up and forced me to do it.
Right.
This is something I never, ever, ever would have done on my own. And I did it. And I remember like talking to the comics and like just something like the first few mics and being like, oh, this is what was kind of missing.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, and I felt weird about it. And as you guys know, I pushed that down for so long. I was like, no. You just, you go to work and shut up. And like, this is fun on the weekend.
Right.
Like maybe you'll
Yeah.
meet cool people and like whatever,
Right.
But then like the switch flipped and back in August. But yeah, I remember meeting with the comics and talking to these guys and you're just like, yeah, this is what's missing. Like, this
Okay,
is the-
so
this
you
is
really felt it filled part of who you really were.
and I think it scared me, and that's why I suppressed it for so long. Like, I was like, oh, this is what I should be doing. Like, this is fun. It's a creative outlet. I never thought I needed a creative outlet. Like, I was so focused on my body when I was a teenager and early 20s that, like, I just was like, fuck, I don't need that. I just want to get fucking jacked. I don't need anything else.
Right.
But
And
not the
because,
case.
like we talked about, your attachment style is pushing away and anxious
Avoidant.
You push away the good. So that what's cool is that it's not just women or friends, it's a career type of thing.
Yeah, I get those feelings of like, and again, they're good feelings, like they're excitement. I'm like, no, just stay the
Right.
And when
right.
I talk to like family members and like my dad and things like that, and I know where my dad's coming from when he, I think I talked about it on the podcast a few months back, but he was like, this comedy thing, like.
Yeah.
Just like, but you could move up at your job, right? Like at Equinox.
Yeah.
Comedy's great because, I was a musician. I only made so much. And I was like, and in the past I would have been mad and be like, why the fuck can't he just, and then I was like, this is your dad.
Yeah.
Who's worried, who has lost everything financially. And
Right.
he's
Yeah.
worried about his only son. He's not doing this to be a dick or like, you know what I mean? To like shit on. That's not it. He's just worried about me. So like,
Right.
I don't take it personally. But yeah, I couldn't imagine. It would be weird. To
You know
just
what
not do
I
it.
like though? Okay, I had a great idea while you were talking. Your father and your friend Anthony, who signed you up for the open mic, we totally have to do like segments of them because we have to do like a Patreon with Anthony.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking piece of work, by the way. He's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He's way cooler than you are.
True.
He's
Very
has
true. And
adorable
he's like-
daughters.
he's like
So-
an actual dad. He's a man.
He's a man.
yeah, he should be like your role model. Like maybe
He is.
Wait, take that dream.
Talk to him every day.
Take that
Yeah.
dream. But you know what's weird too? Like when I retired, people would be like, "Oh my god, like how did you retire? You did Radio City. You did this. You did that." you just can't play the highlight reel every day and have it drown out the day-to-day shit.
Yeah.
So
Which is what I used to do. That's
I
the
know. I read
worst.
that recently. I was like, oh my God, that's awful. You're just kind of seeing that, but you're miserable every day.
Yeah.
Like, what had you done that with? What areas of your life?
Specifically, I can remember in like 2000, me and my buddies have this inside joke. 2012 was the year I like lost a bunch of weight, got in the best shape of my life, and just fucking life was good. Like work was fun. I was training. I was fucking ripping. We went out every week, and I was 24 years old, and it was great. And then that went away, and things changed, and guys got older, and then people got married, and I would always be like, oh man, but like remember?
Yeah.
Like
Then you're that guy.
2012, dude.
Yeah.
Used to like, remember, let's go. Like I used to love New Year's and Halloween because I don't like holidays that involve family. I just like the solo
Fun
ones where
ones,
you just fun. You know what I mean? Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
So like I would always, oh dude, remember